On your fast track to 7, a Mapleton man is dead and 4 Fargo police officers are on standard leave this morning during an investigation into the shooting of an armed suicidal man. It's the 3rd officer-involved shooting in Cass County in just the past month. Police were called to a home yesterday morning after receiving 2 calls about gunshots and a man having a mental health crisis. Authorities say there were reports of criminal activity before they arrived, which may have contributed to that person's mental state. When officers arrived, they heard gunfire. Several agencies then arrived on scene and set up a perimeter, and people in that Mapleton neighborhood were told to shelter in place. Police spent 4 hours trying to talk with the man and even brought in his father and brother to help. Sheriff Jesse Johnner of Cass County says the man told negotiators that he was going out of the house with a gun. They urged him not to and to come out unarmed. The sheriff says the man walked out of the house with what's believed to be a rifle. That's when officers fired at him and killed him. It's not clear if the man fired any other shots. The man's name is not yet released. We have breaking news overnight in the Twin Cities. A man is being treated for a gunshot wound after being shot by an on-duty security guard who says that man was trying to stab a woman. It happened around midnight in Brooklyn Park. The man who was shot is now in the hospital. There is no word on the woman's condition. 8 gravestones were vandalized in a North Dakota cemetery over the weekend, and police are asking for help in finding those responsible. The Benson County Sheriff's Office says it happened at the Lebanon Cemetery, which is just north of Brinsmade and southeast of Leeds. The Sheriff's Office says the gravestones were destroyed. 6:54 now on this Tuesday morning. Let's get a check of that fast track forecast, and we are heating up today, Lisa.
Yeah, hot weather and storms threatening us for our Tuesday, depending on where you are. And this morning we've got some sunshine in Fargo, but you can see some clouds in and around the FM area too. We're looking at temperatures that are into the 60s, 66 degrees at the moment. We've got wind out of the east-southeast at 11 miles per hour. Dew points starting to come up. We're at 59 degrees right now, and it's going to feel more and more muggy as we go through the day, and that will help to fuel the chance for some thunderstorms. We've had a couple up along Highway 2 early this morning. Those have fizzled out, and we're waiting for later today to be a time frame where we're looking at the chance for some not only strong storms, but maybe even severe up along the border and over to the east. In yellow here, we're looking at a slight risk for severe storms in those areas later this evening, after we see those temperatures really heat up. Let's take a look at what we can expect in Fargo. Temperatures rising all the way into the 90s, but not just 90s. We've got to watch out for that humidity. It's going to feel more like maybe even 100 degrees or so for some of us in the Southern Valley today. Northern Valley not as hot, but still on the muggy side. And again, that's where the storm threat is. So all of us need to be watching the weather today, and we'll be keeping you up to date right here.
Yeah, and have plans to stay cool because that is intense heat today.
Yeah, the afternoon hours, especially late afternoon, is when it will be the worst. So during that time frame, if you can find some air conditioning, making sure you're staying hydrated with plenty of water, that's when you want to be doing it.
That's for sure. All right, Lisa, thank you this morning. Now at 6:55, a Detroit Lakes man who was involved in this fiery crash along I-94 in Fargo last Friday has now died. 71-year-old Reed Satrum was brought to a local hospital after being flown to a trauma center in St. Paul. Satrum's passenger, 53-year-old Everett Northrup, also of Detroit Lakes, remains hospitalized with serious injuries. The North Dakota Highway Patrol says the crash happened when Satrum's pickup hit the back of a semi, which had slowed down for construction. Police are now identifying the victim of a deadly motorcycle crash in Cass County as 75-year-old Charles Beckerus of Fargo. It happened Sunday on County 16, just southwest of Horace. The North Dakota Highway Patrol says Beckerus left the road, went into a ditch, drove through a sunflower field, and then fell off his motorcycle. A Minnesota man is now charged with murder and attempted murder after stabbings along the Apple River in Wisconsin over the weekend. One teenager was killed, 4 others are hurt. 52-year-old Nicolay Mew of Prior Lake is claiming that it was self-defense. Documents say the stabbings happened after a confrontation between Mew and a number of other people. The 5 victims were all between the ages of 17 and 24 years old. They were all from Minnesota and Wisconsin. Charges are possible in an ATV crash that hurt 3 people in Motley, Minnesota. Deputies say the vehicle rolled in a ditch several times and then hit a number of trees early Saturday. The driver is a 20-year-old from Motley. He was flown to a Twin Cities hospital with critical injuries. A 20-year-old passenger was flown to St. Cloud, and a 19-year-old passenger was treated at the Staples Hospital. The sheriff's office says alcohol and speed contributed to that crash. Here is the latest on breaking news that we first told you about yesterday right here on the Valley Today. A report of gunfire in North Fargo turned out to be a hoax, and the man who police say is responsible for making that call is now under arrest. 25-year-old Kwame Twum was arrested for providing a false report and harassment. He's still in jail this morning. Police say he called around 5 yesterday morning and said that a woman had been shot. Gigi's Playhouse, the only Down Syndrome Achievement Center in North Dakota, is making progress with its construction of a new building, and one company is cooking up plans to help them out. The Valley Today's Jillian Trudeau joins us live with how the company is doing it and how you can also take part. Good morning, Jillian.
Good morning, Jordan. I'm here at Gigi's Playhouse's new location where you can see that they're making progress in construction since the fire that occurred last year. So Capital Credit Union is hosting a fundraising barbecue lunch today from 11 to 1 p.m. where all the proceeds are going to Gigi's Playhouse, and they're also going to be matching with those donations will be matched with Inglested Foundation. And there will be parking on the street, and it will be free will donations, so the community is invited to come support.
Jillian Trudeau reporting live. Help get Gigi's Playhouse back up and open. Thank you this morning. It is time to get to know your neighbors. Tonight is the annual National Night to Unite. It's a chance for people to celebrate their efforts to keep their neighborhood crime-free. Many people gather for a meal and games to get to know each other. The National Anthem at tonight's Red Hawks game is going to have a special meaning for 15 people in the stands. They are being naturalized today as new U.S. citizens. It's happening at 6:30 at an on-field ceremony before the game. Congratulations to them. It wasn't the four-legged creature that you might expect to see speeding down the track at Canterbury Park in Minnesota, but rather 72 corgis that competed for Best in Show over the weekend. The winner, a pooch named Teddy. The grand finale is September 4th. That's when the Best of Show for all the different dog breeds will compete for the Bark in the Park Championship. The Today Show and CBS Mornings are just about to start. The Valley Today rolls on. Find